Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers Podcast.
Yo. What it do? Positive energy from me to you. It's your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. Yeah, this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, Kings, what it do, man?
What it do, RJD? What it do,
What's
Dave?
going on, fellas? What's going on, fellas?
Man, you already know it's your boy KB back with another episode of the Imperfect Fathers. Boy, it's good to see y'all boys, man.
Please, if you like this, please subscribe and like. I appreciate it.
Word, please do that. Like we gotta say that early and often. I realized that like I said before last week, I didn't get a chance to put it in the actual video. But listen, there's 97% of the people who enjoy this podcast have not subscribed. So please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
Hey man, let's celebrate these little wins, man. Last week it was 98%. We down. So some of y'all did it.
Right.
Let's celebrate these little victories.
That's right. That's a fact. So 1% that definitely hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all. We celebrate y'all. And everybody else, get on the bandwagon, man. It's simple. Hit that little boop. Give us that subscription. We appreciate it.
Fact.
As you guys know. And if you don't know, you're around here for the first time, also hit that button for us. But around here we have things that we do. Decency and order, and those things are talk to our Father and we pay the bills. So with that being said, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another opportunity to come before you, to come before this platform, to come before the people, just to do what we do, to talk, have a conversation, spill our hearts, give our opinions, and do what we need to do as fathers, oh God. So right now, we thank you for the space and opportunity. Right now, God, we ask you to give us the grace and space to go across the airwaves, that we may say something to help somebody in the space that they are as fathers, husbands, men, and leaders. These are what we ask in the name of the Most High. Amen. So around this beautiful podcast, we are here and we are paid for by these people that, listen, I love dearly. I've known for a long time, and the work is phenomenal. Those guys are at over it. It's Now Never Entertainment. Check them out, man. Listen, for all your music needs, whether it be hip hop, gospel, R&B, neo soul, which is preferred. Listen, check him out for all your music needs. He definitely has something for you. Anything from long content or even short reels. Any music you need, holla at him. And guess what? If you go over and use the word imperfect, you get 50% off at checkout on any beat in the beat store. 50% off. 50 on any beat in the beat store. So go over there and check them out. It's Now and Never Entertainment. Let them know that we sent you over the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, fellas. KB, you back?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. He got blacked out a little bit. Let's see. Oh, no. There you go.
My bad.
It's all good.
I'm recording on my phone and someone actually called me, so I left my my setup at the church. So
got you. So listen, fellas, this week, we're gonna talk about something that's a little spicy. I see in these streets, man. So y'all know more about the topic. So I'm gonna chime in every so often, but I definitely want to hear y'all guys' heart and also insight on the topic. So to let the people know what we're talking about, fellas.
Man, we're going with the topic of weaponized feminism.
Wow. Oh, okay.
It's been something that we've been battling for quite some time. Quite some time. What you got to say, Dave?
Man, I just know that basically you're getting a lot of lashback from women that are like pushing out from other people's experiences, and it's just not giving people a fair chance at all. And it becomes difficult to communicate with a seared person, someone that's just upset and mad for no damn reason.
All right, so we was talking about the whole Monique and DL Hughley fiasco. And So
Debacle.
we so we know that, she came out and she accused DL of a couple things. And DL was, thinking, okay, um, should I respond to her or shouldn't I? And not only did DL respond, he brought receipts.
Mm.
Yeah, he brought receipts, and he was naming names, and he was calling out scenarios. And at the end of the day, and I even think he said it. He said, I think he was like, "You're the common denominator." You understand? So it it was a thing.
I was just listening to some of the comments that they were making, and it's crazy because it's like she took a whole she went and got all emotional about
Wait, hold
something that
on.
she never spoke to him about.
So like, so like, I'm gonna help the guest out right now because this is exactly what Jerv did for the other episode. I'm gonna ask the questions from the perspective of a person who doesn't know what's going on, right? So do us a favor and let the people know what's going on in this entire situation. What's going on between Monique and DL, and we're gonna talk about the whole situation about women weaponizing feminism. I want the picture to be painted. You understand, like what the entire incident entails. So what happened between the two of them?
So what's going on between them is that there's a comedy tour going on,
Okay.
and she DL Hughley's running it, and he throws her a bone. He's like, "Oh, you want to come on the tour?" Nobody's giving this lady work. She made a debacle of Netflix. She been just pissing people off in the industry.
Right.
And DL was like, like, I know you from back in the day. Like, what's good? Like, come on this tour. So she gets on the stage in Detroit, and she gets there late as hell because she doesn't want to go up first. Because she said that her contract states something that she has to go up first, and she's like, no, I have to be like toward the closing set. And like you don't get that part of the set in the comedy club. Not if you're like you're not the main
Yeah.
not the main show.
Right.
So she comes late to the show, stupid late. So people had to start going in her place. And she gets into the time around like there's one artist and then there's DL Hughley or something like that. And she's cutting into their time and she comes up on stage and she has this rant about how DL think he just gonna do me like the white man do like she just went off and then she started calling him DL stands for down low because he gay and his wife, look what he did to his wife, and he over here trying not even to let me get trying to take all my money. Like she went berserk and
On the
she
stage,
On
on
stage.
stage.
And he has to come up after her after that.
wow.
Yeah, this lady got some balls, my G. You hear me?
Yeah,
Wow.
and she and I was like, oh wow, like I saw her thing first, and I go, damn, that's crazy. What did DL do for this lady to come out there? Like, so then I listened to the radio show in the morning, and in the morning he's there talking with his co-host, and he's like, yo, I never even talked to this lady. Like she got to the show late. I'm in my thing perform. I'm in my thing doing what I got to do, and she's come. She comes to the show late. People got to perform ahead of her, and she never even speaks to me about any of her issues. Doesn't let me know anything, and goes up here and blurts out X Y Z.
Wow.
And he was like, "People told me not to mess with her. People told me not to do this," and I was just like,
Mm.
He was like, what he
and
felt like it would be unfair to her because he was basically taking everybody else's word as opposed to his own experience with her. And he was like, every experience that he had with her up to that point was civil. He thought she was cool, So he was like, it's unfair for me to use the words of others. So let me go ahead and, give her a shot, basically, like you say, throw her a bone. And and he said it. He's like, I found out what everybody else knows.
Yeah. I didn't want to experience you through everyone else's experience. I wanted to give you a fresh experience. And
Wow.
and I tried to give you that experience, and you did exactly what everyone else said you were gonna do.
Wow. That's first of all, that's crazy. Number one. First of all, shout out to DL Hughley, right? Shout out to DL. First and
OG.
foremost, he's a dope comedian. And at the same time, shout out to Monique. She's dope in her place too, right? Two, I would say legends in their own right. You know what I'm saying? And just from hearing you guys and hearing just because you guys know my ear is not, I don't know what's going on unless you got somebody's bringing it to me. This is my first time hearing this. And I'm just like, wow. Like it's sad because number one, here we go again. Us as a people, that's number one, first and foremost. Number two, it's sad because like your DL went against the words of others, right? Like it's like he wanted to be like, yo, this is my sister. We've done work before. Like, I don't care what nobody was saying about her. Like, let me just work with her. And this is the outcome. That's why it's sad too. But you know what the most sad part to me of it all though, y'all? This may sound crazy because we're talking about weaponizing feminism, is that in order, like, and this is why I am in the space where I am everybody else in life is I know she's the way she is because of what she's been through. Now I don't know all she's been through, but we have a record of some of the stuff that she's been through. Now, her behaving the way she's behaving right now is definitely not a license to do it. This is not giving her a free pass, but it's enough to know I know enough of myself to know that for you to behave like this, you have to have some kind of pain or something that has happened to you for you to do this on this kind of level. I know that much about human behavior. But as per this actual incident, nah, she's bugging.
Bro, I think he,
Like,
bro,
turned it down because I didn't think it would work. After talking to a lot of people, and one of the very people in this room about how things are different, two of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, and how things are different, and look at the
I was just watching that.
around, I decided it would be wrong for me not to give somebody a chance based on things that they've never done to me. That would have been wrong to me. And when she talks, she goes on her diatribe, and she talks about me having my feet under her table. That was at her invitation. I was doing a gig in Greenbelt, Maryland. She lived in Baltimore. She was having a fight party. It was, I think, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And sure enough, I came to her table at her invitation. It was a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, it was based on that interaction, along with talking to people. I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Nicholas knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard. Now, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend.
Wow. That is an occupational hazard.
I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Monique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there, gone at 8:40. She got there at 8:38. What Monique was trying to do was to slow walk the show. She didn't end up being on for 30 minutes. The oldest trick in the world is if I want to change the order and I don't have merit, I'll try to make people wait so long that everybody gets nervous and go, please just go on until we avoid a conflict. That didn't happen when Monique got on stage. Monique actually felt like she had merit. She would have done one of three things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, and whether you go on or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to get on stage, or she would have been in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this. She never once talked to me. I haven't seen Monique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Monique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have this contract, you have this contract. Notice not one thing on that contract, not one person she has on that contract, not one thing happened. Do you know why? Because it wasn't legitimate. And she goes on stage and she proceeds to eviscerate me. Not just me, but Steve Harvey, the sexual was my wife, my dog later on in subsequent conversation. Let me ask you something. What did any of that have to do with an alleged contract dispute? What did Steve Harvey have to do with your contract? What did I have to do with your contract? What did my dog have to do with your contract? What does my wife have to do with your contract? You wrote your contract, you and your daddy. You proceeded to say things that were so patently insulting that it was galling. It was galling. You asked in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog, what kind of person has a support dog. I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog. I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love, which you know very little about. You proceeded to assault my sexuality. You had the temerity to assault someone's sexuality, a man's sexuality, given who you lay next to. None of that had anything to do with alleged contract dispute. You could have taken that up with a lawyer. You would have gotten out. You could have not gone on stage, but you knew you didn't have a valid contract. And you do what you always have done. You tried to weaponize black femininity. You tried to turn that audience against me. You tried to burn everything down, like you do all the time. Who calls Netflix and thinks I can get $10 million because I did the Queen's account? Who thinks you can get on stage and still live off that? I was a king of comedy. You never hear me talking about it because in this business, like any other, it isn't what you have done; it's what you do.
You feel how that you see how that comes off?
Yeah, nah.
It's
I'm
like,
glad
yo,
you even let me hear that just now too.
because I saw the interview before. I had seen it before, and I was just like, I knew she did something that was like, it was like, yo, hold up. If you had such a big deal, why you ain't hit me up?
Right.
Why you ain't hit me up? At least give me the opportunity to try to fix it.
Right.
Like,
give me the
at
opportunity to
least
make it right for you. Right.
give me the opportunity. And then I don't think he was attacking her husband's sexuality. I think he was just saying like, yo, you sleep next to a black man, you just gonna assault my sexuality like that?
Well,
You
okay.
lay next to a black man and you just gonna just sit there and just
Right.
assault my sexuality like that for real? Like you don't know what it is laying next to a black man. Like for real? Like it's crazy.
And then being Monique, who she is with the whole pro black move, like
Like,
that,
what are
like
you doing?
her demeanor. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I said before, bro. Like, and like
And her
it's
shit was
up.
atrocious. What she said was disgusting.
Yeah, nah, that's
She
messed
really
up.
went. It ain't even worth playing it because it's like it's okay to it's okay to go after a man like that in this world, and it's like it sucks. It just
Yo, bro,
I don't
what's
even
so
know how
crazy
to.
is like I feel so bad for just first of all DL number one because it's like I heard it just now his voice just now like the displeasure and the disheartened like him of how he feels about he was treated by someone he actually gave a chance to. That's where the pain I hear is like man, like I tried not to listen to my friend.
And you know what sucked to me? What bothered me that the fact that he had to explain that shit about his dog. Like
Right.
I that's something personal. I'm not trying to tell people about that. But you gonna make me go there? Like that's how low you are. You're just gonna make me go there, and that's insane.
Back.
There you go. Welcome back, bro.
I had to go ahead and completely power cycle my device, B.
Yo, now you sound completely better too, for real.
That's what's up. What I missed?
Nah, we were still he actually played the DL's response.
Boy, you see how eloquently he put everything, bro?
Nah, he did, and like
He
I
came here
also
to
heard the
see.
pain in his voice though. Like I heard the
Mm-hmm.
pain of a man that put his
He
arm
was
out.
hurt.
Yeah, he put his arm out to someone that he wanted to really like say, yo, forget everybody what everybody else is saying. Like, let's do this. And when you say that, when I heard the names of the people that told him not to work with her, wow. That's to be on that list of to be on that bad side of those people, it's like wow. Wait a minute.
And you see, and then the thing that I have the biggest issue with is every time she wants to rally the black women, saying, oh, it's not, it's not. They're not just fighting me. they're fighting us. This
Yeah.
is what they're doing to us. Like, man,
Mm-hmm.
stop throwing this rock and hiding your hand. Like, no, we see what you're doing. You're the common denominator. Like,
Yeah.
everybody has a problem with you in the same type of way.
Right. My
Like
grandfather,
when yo, that line where he said that, man, your life, he was like, your life is that Precious movie where he was like, you know, her character in Precious is actually you. I
Mm.
was like, oh,
Yeah, he
and
went. Yeah, I stopped it. He, I
oh,
didn't. I didn't even go that far because
oh, oh,
you know, he heard the dog part. He heard like the. He kind of heard a little bit. He heard a
yeah,
bro.
lot.
PTSD from the dog park, bro.
Hey, listen, man, listen. Nah, you know what it was
We
for.
lucky.
I heard when I heard the dog part. I heard how sensitive that was, though.
Yeah,
Like,
nah, he starts going in, he pulls out the contract. He was like, nowhere on here is it anything like you signed this, your agent and you sat down and signed this, and this is you agreed to it. Don't come to the show the day of and feel like you're gonna moonlight everything and just keep, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you go on there and then like he said, completely eviscerated him. Like, how can he come up after that? Like he has to, because he got to get paid. He'll be a breach of contract. He then opened him up for a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? So he got to touch the stage
right,
after
and
you done said
I
all
can't
that good stuff,
imagine. Right,
and we didn't even have a conversation. So
yo, it's
this
so
is
crazy is that like that whole like here we are now talking about the weaponizing of the femininity part. Like
like
this is so corny. Like
bro.
this is
I
white
want you
that we doing this.
I want you to think about this. Like this is how, I mean, white fragility plays a role in this too, but roll with me on this
Okay.
in terms of the whole weaponizing, and this is not just a a black thing. This is across the board. Like this is a problem across the board, interracial. You know what I'm saying? So think about Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? Like she weaponized her feminism.
Hmm.
Oh, he did this, and he whistled at me or whatever it is she said she did, and you know what I'm saying, because she's their women, or they have to then protect. And she knew what was going to happen to him. She said that. You know, she finally came out and said, "Yeah, oh, yeah, he never did what he did." We knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be charged and put. I know you old and whatever, but you should. The rest of your days should be spent underwater. Like,
Nah, like, and that's that. It's so crazy because this conversation is an uncomfortable one, and the reason it's uncomfortable is because of the brainwashing that comes from it. So when I think about these incidents, right? Like this, especially this one with Monique, it's like as much as I take up for black women, as much as I take up for them, because first of all, I was birthed by one. You understand? Like I didn't technically choose to marry one, but I have sisters, I have aunts, I have cousins,
bro,
and I protect them all. But
bro, you do know she black, right?
yeah, Cassie is black too at the same time. But you
No,
you
I get you.
you
I
you
get you.
already know. I'm gonna have somebody look up my information, go through my Instagram, and see her, and be like, "Oh, he didn't marry a black woman," and then I'm gonna have to deal with that. But at the end of the day, neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is, I do my best to protect, and as most black men do. But when we have sisters like this, like that do and have behaviors like this, it makes you not want to do it. It makes you not want to protect your sisters, bro. Like this is not cool. Like this weaponizing the fact that we cherish y'all is corny
Facts.
because that's what this is. Like it ain't even the femininity. Like we cherish women and you guys know it. So let's take it there. Even during this week, one of you guys put it in the chat. There's a book, yo. There's a book out. There is a document. I'm scared to even say the book, the information over the airwaves to let more people know exists. to be honest. But there's a document. I'm not gonna name the name because I don't want to give it airway. But there's a document of how to break a man. It's crazy, yo.
bro.
It's
They wrote the
insane. It's sickening.
they wrote the Willie Lynch letter for men, bro.
Word.
Jeez,
And the sad part, you know who wrote it?
one of
One
us.
of our sisters. It's sad on more cases. Here we go again. It's sad the fact that she went through what she had to go through to write that book, right? Like that's called a spade, because Monique can't behave, and nor the woman that's using this behavior to go forth with cannot go have this behavior if they didn't have some kind of experience. So understandable, you had this experience or whatever it was in your life, you felt slighted behind. But every man don't have to pay for that. The same way every woman can't pay for everything that I've been through in my life from other women in my life. Because if
Bro,
that was the case, we'd be in war everywhere.
I'm gonna go this far and say it, bro. I think a lot of what she's doing is for attention, bro. I
Man,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it.
that's a.
I
I guess
think
she
a
going with the no. She going with the bad publicity
no
is no
is
publicity.
that's it's I think that's exactly what she's going for, bro. Because every time like her name is outside the limelight, and then she would like I think personally she took the job with this in mind.
Mm,
Man, that's
I
crazy.
think
wow.
she took the job with this absolute thing in mind to have people like us discussing her name in different podcasts. She was on the radio all again. She made the news. You know what I'm saying? Like she getting the buzz again.
And
I
you know,
honestly think she took the job just to so she could be able to do the thing with DL Hughley to go out there on that stage. I think that's what she thought was going to make the bigger blast was the fact that she was on stage letting this man, like he said it in his own words, completely eviscerate him on
bro,
stage. You know what I'm saying? So I think she thought that was going to get more airway. But when DL did his thing, I think that was like they put a complete halt to it. Like,
bro, like, and like my only hope is that she didn't have that intentions. But it's
bro,
like
I
you
think
said, like that's
she's
if
calculated
you
like that,
look
bro.
at it as like it seems premeditated, seeming calculated. So it's like just for the sake of humanity, I hope not. But
I think
when we
she
when we look at
purposefully.
right, when we look at like so check this out. I just seen a podcast with Kenny Smith on All the Smoke, as a matter of fact. And he was talking about the way KD and Kyrie switched their narrative publicly to a negative one, right? Because he said to himself, when did the public or the media switch on KD or Kyrie? They've always loved him. So I'm saying to myself, did Monique do that too? Because for the last couple years, we've only heard her names and scandals around stuff like this. We haven't heard her name in anything other than things of this nature. So I'm just like, yo, is she killing her own self slowly? Like, is this her unwinding everything she's because, like I said, in my mind, she's a living legend. She's done great work in the past for the culture. Like,
You
that's how I
know
see her in my mind's eye.
what I think it is it's a combination. So I think she's been this way,
Mm,
and it was starting to trickle out, so she got ahead of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you could only be away before word everybody has word, and
right.
especially in Hollywood, they be like, oh. Nah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Like, but I think it was kind of just the thing. It was kind of just catching up to her, so she just caught it caught the bull by the head and just went ahead and got out there in front of it. Whoever her publicist is, man, shout out to you. You know what you're doing. Like it's
Get
like
in front of that truck, that Mack
you know what I'm
truck.
saying? Like that she got herself an Olivia Pope. Like
How do we bring this home to our lives though, fellas? Because like this is what I want to do. Like this is on the grand scale, right? We talking about Monique and DL on this level, but then we use the word weaponizing femininity. I want to bring this home. Like what do
we
we do? Like, what do we do to either defend this? Do we have to defend ourselves against this? What is this? Do we love through this? Like, what do we do with
Um,
this?
Identify it first, like everything else. You gotta know it. You gotta know where there's heat coming from.
Mm.
Facts.
So
Hold on. So,
you
question, fellas. Have any of you ever experienced a woman weaponizing her femininity?
oh yeah,
Mm.
often. When
Wow.
you when yeah, actually, at the workplace, they're always complaining about they complain
This
often
thing
about
want the smoke.
being
Right. He
slighted
want all the
positions.
smoke today. Dave is here for the smoke.
Um, they always use think about it. They always use the that they don't get paid the same as men. Like
Mm.
they're not applying for the same positions. Like think about it. Like they're not out there bricklaying. They're not out there
You know
being
what?
plumbers.
You know what it is?
Like
That someone that kind of, I think they explained it. It was like y'all just not negotiating, and that's why y'all get taken advantage of when y'all go to the car dealerships. Like men say, "Hey, now we're not going to do this job for that." They whatever is presented to you is what you accept. And you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like with women, they don't, and I don't want the smoke. So women generally, I'm not gonna use the
Right.
word always. I'm gonna say women generally um, tend to accept whatever is basically given to them in terms of a price. Men, in terms like men, you get put a price in front of us, even if we like it, we're gonna get up from the table and say, "Man, turn it around." It's like, "Man, why are you trying me?" and walk
Yeah.
away. Like so, you know what I'm saying? Like we negotiate for what we want. Even if you present us with what we want, we're gonna ask for more.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna ask until you tell us, hey bro, stop. Okay. Like, okay, we good. Let's sign on the line. Women won't do that. So that's why they're not getting paid as much as men. That's
no,
why you
I don't. I'm gonna play the other side of that because I believe that women are excellent negotiators.
not
Because
in money.
well, in the sense of that, it's really on. It really comes down to not really negotiating, man. It just really comes down to trying to get with the compete on the same level. You know what I mean? Like they, you only want you if I'm trying not to get the smoke. That's why I'm sitting
Bro,
here
you
stuttering.
already in it, bro.
And then
Yeah.
not, and but see, and
You
this,
might as well double
but check this
down.
out. But check this out. I'm doing this and I'm positioning these questions for a reason, because the fact that there's this much tension around the conversation is a problem. This is a problem. Yo, the fact that there's this much tension about three men having conversations about what women feel is a problem. So check this out.
I'm still confused. I
I
ain't
asked
gonna
the
hold
question where I said, "Has any of you ever had experienced women weaponizing their femininity?" And the truth of the matter is, we all have at some point in time in my life. Now, check this out. Why I say that is this, because remember, there was a time when you was a child, right? We all had a time, and I can point out, and I know who did it to me, where she was like, "Stop." She was like, "Give me that toy," and I was like, "No, it's my toy." She's like, "Give me the toy, or I'm gonna cry."
on.
And it was like, "Yo, you at this point in time, I gotta choose
Hmm.
if I'm gonna give my toy up or deal with the repercussions of her crying." Now, check this out. So, like psychologically, we already know there's gonna be smoke because she's crying. We already know we're not gonna be heard first and foremost because she's crying. That's a
They,
problem, y'all.
they learned it early.
Let me tell you something. I raised a boy and a girl in my house. And if you think for 1 second that my little girl walks around here and gets away scot-free because she's a girl, or a life move because she cries, you're sadly mistaken.
Same.
Sadly mistaken. My daughter will not have that complex. My son won't have that fear. Period. We got to stop this, y'all. We have to stop this fear that we have of ruffling the feathers of a woman. because the 9 times out of 10, what's ruffling the feathers is the truth, our truth. I was just having a conversation, KB, you witnessed some of it. I was just having a conversation with actually one of my mentors about a said situation where it's it's so much happening in his life around this relationship. He wants to partner himself from the relationship, but he feels so bad about parting himself from the relationship. It's nothing about the structure of what he's done. Is there's no bad blood. It's the fact that he feels so bad that she feels bad. Yo, it's not a man's responsibility to worry about a woman's happiness. I don't know where we get this from, yo. Like,
Yeah.
yo, I've been married to my wife for 15 years, yo. 15 years. And I'm going to tell you right now, her happiness has nothing to do with me. If she's happy or not, that's not my responsibility. But for some reason or another, through programming, through society, whatever have you, it makes us feel like, oh, make sure she's happy. What? That's nonsense. Because you can't make sure someone's happy. It's
It's an
impossible.
emotion. It's an emotion that
And I
changes
can't
all the
guarantee it for
time.
you. How can I guarantee you happy, D?
You can't. Only self can guarantee you're happy.
Facts.
Yeah. If you're
And this is
not
what we gotta
happy,
teach, D. We gotta teach this, man.
and
Like
it
I'm
just it's just it's just a lot of times they say it's a double edged sword, but it just seems to get getting sharper on one side lately than the other, and it's just like it's creating so much tension that it's just like it sucks because like in reality I'm just trying not to get screwed over, but like man I care about women like all the way, but it's just like some of them are using that
yeah,
against you now, and it's just like damn, like do I help you or do I not help you?
right.
Like how do like like what's going on? So it's just it becomes a bit tedious, and it sucks that it has to be such a tensious topic because at
Bro,
the end of the day you just want the best for them.
you know what's so crazy, D? Like I've seen this, and I'm so glad like you said earlier, identified this in my own life, in my own relationship. And this is a part of this is a part of how I coach men. So check this out. Yo, you know what's so crazy in my own relationship that I realized that I was programmed to be versus my wife. Think about that. I was programmed to think that I'm going against her. No, I'm not going against the person I'm choosing to live with. We're side by side. But think about this. How many times can you be slighted by something and you think it's cool and not want to defend yourself? But that's
Maybe
mostly
once.
every man because every little boy has went through the same scenario I painted earlier. Yo, a boy's fear is a little girl's tears. Think
They
about
don't
that.
know what to do with it
Think about that, y'all. One of the
to this
biggest
day.
fears for a little boy is a little girl's tears. And we gotta stop that. We gotta start making the playing field even. Like it's so crazy how we pick and choose what we want to be equal and even with now, right? It's so crazy how we choose what we want to be equal and even with and all this other nonsense. But the truth of the matter is there is no equal. Because if there's equal, I wouldn't be with my wife. Like I don't want another me. That's not what I want. Take it how
Boy.
you want. Straight man. take how you want.
No, I have to agree with you. I need that. I need it to be clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I, if that's what you need, if you need the gray, that's cool. I ain't talking against you. I just like mine's black and white
Right.
when it comes to feminine and masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really just like it black and white. I love a feminine woman. I just love it. Like that you're feminine, that your touch is soft. You you're motherly, you're
Mhm.
nurturing. I love every bit of that. You know what I'm saying? So need I don't need a roar as loud as mine.
And don't use those attributes he just mentioned against us, yo. Like,
That's what I
and
like. What I
and
like.
I want to be very, very open when I say this. And hear my like check all my previous content, ladies, if you catch this, that I know there's things that y'all have been through. I'm never going to discredit none of those things, y'all. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. I got a mother that's been through hell and back. I have heard horror stories from my aunts. I know the things that my grandmother's been through. I know that there's women in this world that who have been through a lot of things. And
Hmm.
I'm not taking none of that away. But first and foremost, what you can't do, you can't live through someone else's trauma because that's another trend that's happening right now too. We spoke about it in agreement. I'm bringing it to the forefront. Yo, if the situation or circumstance didn't happen to you,
Involve you.
how are you living through that? Like there's a new epidemic where, oh, men ain't shit. But then you sit down with the women who are saying that and they haven't experienced a man that wasn't shit. And that's like, wait a minute, are you living through somebody else's experience here? Like who's done that to you? Who's done these heinous acts to you?
Hey, here before we go on, that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I want the smoke on this one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, if the man ain't shit, you own some responsibility as to why you picked him. I want the smoke.
Whoo!
I
Okay.
want the smoke.
You
I
KB, you took it in
want
a
the
route that
smoke.
I'm glad you took it because we can go there too, bro. Because
Why'd you pick
the
him?
seriousness is this. We all live based upon our proximity, right? Now, with that being said, there's a lot of not shit niggas in a lot of women's proximity,
Hmm.
but there are also a lot of real good men in the same proximity. Your choices of who you choose in your
Hmm.
proximity is your responsibility.
I'm not hooked up. I'd have been hitting all kind of gospel chords. Because you over here preaching. I'd have been hitting the preaching chords, bro. I'd have had you in A flat with the
Oh, that's
pinky,
that
bro.
they'll shout for the A flat. Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, wow, man. Yeah, wow with it. But
Nah, but serious though, dear.
it's a lot.
No, real talk.
It's a big perspective, and it doesn't even only happen. Just that happens with everything.
Right.
It's like shoot, I had a crazy week, and this week I'm I've been being forced to try to get somebody's perspective on another person, and it's
Mm,
like, dude, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what you have to say about that person.
mm,
Like I really don't, because it's just like, especially if you don't come from a good place, it's like I'm not trying to hear it. Don't try to influence what I perceive as that person. That person has never said anything to me. I don't have any issues with them. So why are you trying to make me look at? It's like you're trying to influence my thought on how to think about this person, and it's just like
mm.
that's terrible.
That's manipulation.
That's
But look,
terrible, you know.
but I
But
mean,
it
and the
happens all the
prophet,
time, just about
but
little gossip here and there.
look at it. What about Monique?
Right.
DL was like, he got all those negative, like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Hmm.
That could be looked at the same type of way too. But like you
Boom.
said though, but no, but like he said, it, the intent matters, bro.
Right.
His
Right.
intentions were ill. You know what I'm saying? Like the other people's intentions was like, yo, we trying to look
I'm gonna
out for
give
you,
you
don't do it.
right.
But now check this out. So, did you hear something that was real important right there? Like that manipulating factor. So, do you know what manipulation really is, yo, at the core level of it all? Yo,
It's black magic.
it's witchcraft, real rap. And it's so crazy because it's like we look at these things and shout out to Myron Golden. He was like, yo, it's so crazy how we change words just to make it sound suitable for our time. But if you go back to the reading the fundamental of the word, the Bible, and you listen to what the Bible calls things, you realize how drastically wrong they are. Like with I forgot the example he used, but it was like God calls drunkenness, we call it alcoholism and put it under disease. You understand? So we're taking things and we're using them out of context, and then we're making them suitable for us. And this is what that's what manipulation is, and this is
That
what
they
the
have no
whole root
control.
of weaponizing femininity is, and even masculine, toxic masculinity, right? Or narcissism. That's the new catchphrase. This is the root of all this is witchcraft, yo. And it's some is the basis is you're trying to control someone else's thought or outlook on something. That's the most fucked up place, excuse my language, to be in. When you're trying to control someone else's thought process, yo.
What do
Like
they
that's
call it?
terrible.
They call it domesticating.
That
Yeah,
sounds crazy.
like it's like
Hmm.
instead of saying programming, it's like
Right.
domesticating. Like all of us
Right.
Yeah,
in this society,
opening
we're
into it. Yeah,
domesticate. We're all domesticated a certain
very
way.
much so.
So
Very
you know what
much
I'm saying?
so.
Like we're all domesticated to more or less think job, savings, retirement,
Hmm.
marriage, family, kids, soccer. Like that's a domestication. Like
Right.
you've been taught to think like that. Like you're not been taught to like, oh, let me save some money and start a business.
Mhm.
You're not taught to like, no, you're taught to high school, college, job, wife, kids. Like you're not taught like, oh, like high school, work, school, work, school, work, school, work, build, family. Like you're not taught that.
Right.
You're not taught that. You're domesticated to think boom, boom,
A
boom, boom,
consistent.
boom, them steps.
The
So
right
it's
way.
like it's a program. It's
Hmm.
a
Man.
program, and you know how. And think about it. Think about all the processes and transactions that take place in every one of those steps.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like all the money there is to be made, loans for school, loans for debt, commercial loan, school loan. Like you know what I mean? Like but the amount of debt that's involved in every one of those building blocks, just because we're domesticated to do it that way.
That way.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a programming. So I mean, yeah, it's
Yo. So I wrote down just now as you was talking, D, because there's gonna be a woman somewhere that watches this podcast and is gonna be like, yo, well, what am I supposed to do if this has been my experience? Right? Like this, because I always think about the kickback. Now, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, if something's happened to you, and it's for men or women, it's your responsibility to heal so the generation after you doesn't have to experience it again. Because I hear these things between like with Mo and women weaponizing their femininity. I just think of the behaviors that transpire in front of young girls behind this. You understand what I'm saying? So there are young women that's gonna watch this, is gonna see things like this, and then portray it, all because, like you said, of the programming of what they've seen. And this is a plea to all the women. Yes, if you've been hurt and all those things, like I said before, not discredited, but if you want to see a better life for your children and for the ones going forward, you have to make sure that you're not teaching based upon your pain. Word, we can't teach based upon what we've been through on a negative note. Like if we don't use the negative to show a positive, then what's the use of even going through it? And if we got kids coming up behind us that's gonna see the things that we're going through and then emulate it and then really do the same thing we're doing because they're watching us, it's our responsibility to change the narrative, man.
Man, we could go. Honestly, I we could go back to the good book. The you know what I'm saying, like the lady with the issue of blood.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like she was literally walking around bleeding for 12 long years. You know what I'm saying? Like she was trying to get better. She was literally going to different doctors and all that good stuff, trying to get better. Then one day she named her healing,
mm,
and her healing was touching the hem of his garment. And as soon as she what touched the hem of the garment, her bleeding instantly stopped. So just like if we bring that in today's time, like it's literally women walking around bleeding on people because they have not named their healing.
Mm,
And another step, once they name that healing, go after that healing, getting to that place of healing. And as soon as like they touch that healing, the bleeding will stop.
mm,
So we could at this thing literally, and this goes for everybody, you have to name your healing. What's healing? At what point can you heal? You have to name it. You have to seek after it once you name it. And once you get it, you then could stop that bleeding because just like you said, Rod, is that is being taught from a place of of hurt.
right.
And unfortunately, we've been sowing that seed forever, bro. Especially the people that looks like us, the black and brown. We were taught to basically do that when
Our
they
pain
ripped
makes
us from.
money. It's
They literally. But here's the thing: in the place they're they're passing on this pain, but it's from a place of love. That's what makes
mm,
it so dangerous.
mm,
The mom is passing on and saying basically telling the son, don't look up, don't do this to master, don't do this, and he's basically teaching him how to survive as opposed to or teaching him how to survive as opposed to how to live. Is
mm.
because she was basically teaching him how to make it past this point. And unfortunately, we, without forward thinking, we're going to continue this walk in this circle.
Right.
And she was passing that hurt on because she seen what Master did to his dad.
Mm,
So let me tell you what not to do to make Master mad. So, and that's being passed down. That fear has been
right.
passed down from generation to generation to generation. And we're literally passing down hurt from a place of love. And it's
Damn,
so
that's deep.
dangerous.
That's deep. Passing down pain from a place of love. Because like yo, you're so right, bro. Like you and like that takes it back to last week with Jerv, because Jerv was like, yo, love is a boundary because you don't let your son or daughter just run in the middle of the street because you
That's a
love them.
fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
you do things and like sometimes you do them drastically to protect them. Like if your son or daughter was running in front of a Mack truck, you wouldn't just be like gracefully grabbing them. You snatch them or you'll tackle
No
them. You
way.
would do whatever it takes to make sure that they're not harmed.
I'd
But
rather you hurt than dead.
right, and in the midst of that hurt, you in the midst of that circumstance, you might break a bone, you might land on them, but you know that that's a blessing compared to that truck's taking their life from them. And just understanding that like there's so much pain in our culture, bro. Like there's so many wounds just based upon what we've been through as a people that it shows up in so many other ways. And it's crazy because I always say this, bro, offline. I'm gonna say it online. It's like, yo, the powers that be are smart, bro. I don't care what nobody say. If you think that the powers that be and the devil or whoever you else that ain't smart, yo, they got you already.
Bugging.
They are meticulous. They think things out because what they do is they have things implode from the inside out. Think about this. All the chaos we just finished talking about is amongst inside of us, our community, between our men and our women. That's the core of it all. And they know the powers that be if they keep us bickering amongst each other. Let me tell you something. And I've been preaching about this book for the last week. Check this out. If you don't know it, if you haven't checked it out, go listen to Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Yo, it's so crazy because all the tricks and the trades of the devil we think are situational for us.
Mm-mm.
This Negro, the devil, is so smart that he makes us believe that the things that we're going through is based upon what we did. And the truth is, all of it, yo, it's the mental battlefield. Like it's the space that you allow to be vacant in your mind and your heart that he's able to dwell in. And that fear, like the fear that man has for woman and her tears, is how he operates. Like fear of anything is how he operates. And like I'm telling y'all something, if you want to be enlightened on another level, yo, read that book. If you are tired of just being fearful of everything. If you're a man that you're tired of fearing women, if you're a woman that's tired of fearing men, yo, read this book, y'all. I'm telling y'all, listen to this Audible if you don't want to read it. And I would even prescribe you to listen to the audio because it has a certain effect when you hear the book. But trust me when I tell you, this game of being scared of a woman or what she might feel because she barks or she cries out. We got to stop this nonsense and just be who you are. You're designed uniquely to be a man. Be a man. A woman. Be a woman. Like we have to stop all this. It's crazy because my mind explodes when I think of how many ways this conversation can go down the line because we're simply at war with our counterparts. Like, that's insane, y'all. Like the
Makes
women
no
that we are
sense.
looking to love, honor, protect, and hold dear to us, we're bickering and going back and forth with.
I'm gonna be
We're
Jared today. I'm
we're
gonna bring
better
up the word
together.
again. Man,
We're
here,
better.
think about it, bro. God mathematics just don't make no sense. He say,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really think about it, I think it's Psalms 91. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's there, where he said, one will chase 1,000, two will chasing 10,000.
Mm.
You see how much unity does?
Yeah, yeah.
One, you only good for 1,000.
That's it.
Two, you good for 10,000.
10 times it.
God, you understand? So that goes to show you in terms of when we stand together, man, it's a beautiful thing because stuff gets done.
So check this out. We are a problem solving oriented podcast.
Hmm.
Let's give some ways to how we can stand together. And I'm gonna start this off by saying my first way that I think that we can start this off is by understanding that we all have been through something. Because I think that's the key factor in this all. I think that we look at each other as if though, oh well, you had a clean slate and you don't know what I've been through. No, we all have been through something. We've all experienced pain from one side of the fence, and maybe even on the other. A man has hurt a man, a woman has hurt a woman, a man has hurt a man, vice versa. Like we've all have experienced pain. I've experienced pain from some of my greatest pain has happened from men. And this is a straight man talking to you. I've been let down from a father. I've been let down by best friends. I've been hurt by more men than I've been women. But guess what? That don't change my relationship towards my brother KB. That don't change the relationship to my brother Dave. It don't change that relationship because I don't allow it to. And we got to understand that. So that's my first foremost. We got to understand that we've all been through something. So, fella, what y'all got, man?
Um, I would say understanding that everything is not for you,
Mm,
or even better, finding what is for me. And once I find what's for me, I find my tribe. And what I mean by that is I need to find like-minded people like myself, and then we come together, and that's us baking the vanilla cake. And another group of people, that's them baking that chocolate cake over there. And another group of people, that's them baking that cake, whatever kind of cake you like. So that's four different groups. You know what I'm saying? But they're all baking cakes. It's all different flavor of cakes. Just because I prefer lemon cake, that doesn't mean I need to talk down on vanilla cake or talk
mm,
down on chocolate cake. You know what I'm saying? So once, as long as they're doing something positive, they are for us.
mm-hmm.
Long as that view is something positive that's building the kingdom, allow them to work over there. That whole, oh, what about them? Forget what they're doing. Is if it's positive, we move forward. They rocking. If they're positive and we all come together, just because they don't like what I like, that doesn't make them my enemy.
Right.
As long as they're doing something positive, they fold.
Hey, bro.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You say hi. Say hi.
He's like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
you got.
busy.
She went to
Yeah.
sleep. So
What you
she
got,
got
Dad?
up not too
Um.
long ago.
On that note, basically just try to find a way to gauge to see, when you're dealing with people, just hear them out, see what angle they come from, and if you can relate, I would just say just play politics and just not try not to give your energy to some of that bad energy that they come off, because that's the best way to gauge it. Because when people have that kind of prejudice on something, excuse me, when people have that kind of sorry about that, man.
You letting the kids out?
Um,
The kids trying to
man,
break
they
out
they
again, huh?
done they done broke out again, man. Basically now when try to gain some people have prejudices, and you can just try to read off of them, because those prejudices turn out to just be bad energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't realize it, you just start feeling like, man, is that it? Just try to get a vibe for what they're doing, and if it don't feel right, man, get away from me. Just get away from me. You don't want to be around that energy. That's gonna just hold you down, because you always got to just try to work and do your best. And when you get that energy, it kind of throws you off focus of what you're trying to do, which is your best. And like, you just stay away from the energy, man, because it's gonna really sear your mind into going into the wrong direction and being around the wrong people. And you know how RJD say, get the people from around you.
Yeah, those got to
Don't.
go. Yo, and so this, I know so much. We've said so much, and we went so many ways with this conversation. But I just want to just to speak to our ladies out there, yo. Like, and I'm not talking to all women. Let's make this clear. Like, and this is for the women that it applies to. It doesn't apply to you. Let it fly. But if you're using your blessing, right? If you're using your gift, which is femininity, if you're using your power in a destructive manner, and you know it, see, it's when we also are taking in consideration is like you don't know what you don't know. So I'm talking to the women who know it, and you know what you know who you are. If you're out here and you're using your femininity as a weapon, shame on you. Because number one, every man comes from it. We all come from it. So there's not one man on this earth that can say he doesn't appreciate it. That comes from gay, straight, and everything else. Because I've spoken to many gay men, and they appreciate the femininity of a woman.
Facts.
So if you are using that kind of power and that kind of gift for destruction, there's some things that you need to question. There's some work you need to do on yourself. Because the truth is, the world goes around that very power. That very power, this universe is spinning around. It affects every life that walks upon this earth, men and women. Because our daughters become you. Our sons get older and become us and look for you. We search for you. So I just want you to understand, like, yo, don't take that power for granted. And to be honest, it's almost evident if you don't know what you have. So if you're a woman out there that don't know the power of your femininity, go do the research. Go talk to some men.
It's a beautiful thing.
You have
Yes,
no clue
indeed.
of the absolute dominance that you possess, especially if you're using it in the wrong manner. Like you're the closest thing that we have to God on earth with the power that you're capable of with producing. But don't use it against us. We appreciate, we love, and we value y'all. But don't use the one thing that we need to survive with against us. It's not right. And as what's gonna happen is the constant cycle. You're gonna hurt a man that's gonna teach his son to not get hurt. And guess what's gonna happen? That son's gonna treat your daughter the way that man taught his son to react. And we have that nasty
Life
cycle all
cycle.
over again.
Hmm.
We got to stop this, yo. And the cycle has to stop with us. And I'm glad we had this conversation because that's how we start these things. This is how we pull the band-aids off of those wounds, y'all.
And you
But
know
yo,
how,
hold on. On a lighter note, I gotta turn up right now, yo. Baby girl turned 6 yesterday. Yo, the reason that this podcast
yo,
exists, the reason that I'm a father turned 6. Man, we gotta have a moment for my little mama.
man,
Hey, Imani.
man, happy turning the dad day, bro. We need to make that a thing. Happy turning a dad
Right.
day.
Happy,
Oh,
happy birthday.
yo, it's so crazy because me and Cassie was like she took the day off and we were just talking through the hours, like what we were doing at this time. And it was so crazy because Imani wasn't born until 10 a.m. So when we woke up that morning, it was like, yo, I remember what we was going through. Bring Imani in.
Well, that Joe story gonna be serious.
Man, like that's what I'm saying. His birthday is like when he come
Mm.
around, like I might have to make sure everything was everything's legal. Joe stories. Come here, Poo Poo. Come here. My birthday girl. You're 6 years old now.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're 6 years old now?
Yes.
Ah, you're the reason I'm a daddy. You know that?
Yes.
You know I love you.
Yes.
What did you do yesterday? You had fun yesterday?
Yeah, ice cream.
You had ice cream with your friends?
Yeah, and dance class.
And dance class. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Big 6 years old now, huh?
Yes.
All right.
I'm 27.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No, we're not turning 7. You just turned 6. I just told you that. You got a
I'm
whole.
trying to 7.
You see this, yo? Yo, trying to
Slow
turn
down,
7.
money.
Slow it down.
I turn 7.
We're not gonna let you
Slow
know.
down.
Just be 6 for now.
Yes. I love you. See you later.
Okay.
Close the door. So yeah, man. It's crazy.
Just
6
money.
years ago, like,
How do you just miss the money?
man, like, yo, Dave, it's
Said
crazy
that.
because like I had just met Dave around this time. Like Imani, like, wait, no, I'm lying. Imani was already born when I met you, D. Like she was
You was just meeting me around that time.
right. It's crazy, man. Like the way that she changed my life mentally. You muted, D. Oh, okay.
I was trying to yell at the kids, tell them they're not gonna get any more food. They keep knocking on that door.
Yeah, I know. I be muting mines out too, so they don't catch us yelling, being real
Mm.
all the way
Mm-mm.
fathers in mid podcast. But yo,
So much.
the little we all have girls, right? We all have, as a matter of fact, we all got girls and boys. But like, yo, when Imani was born, bro, like she changed a lot of my wiring.
Facts.
Like
Ooh, major facts, bro.
she changed a lot of the wiring, like the mental wiring of what I thought a man was, or how a man's supposed to carry herself. Like she changed a lot. Like,
Yo, I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. And this is coming from a dude who had his boys first, and then what? 11 years later, had his girl.
mm-hmm.
She changed your wiring, bro. It
Word.
wasn't like he did change my wiring, but not a little bit. Not like she did though.
Right. Right.
It's not even close.
I'm a
Nah.
big bro, so I got 3 younger sisters. So it's always been part of my programming.
DNA, yeah.
Yeah, like
I didn't grow up
I
with
got 3
big
younger
sisters.
sisters. So for me, it was like programmed in there already.
You know what's so crazy about that? Like even my sibling, I got a younger sister, but my mother did such a good job, and because of her pain, like she did such a good job of making sure that I did not have to feel like I was my sister's father, and just always reminded me like I was the brother. So, like all those responsibilities
Yeah.
I never had early. You know what I'm saying? Like my biggest responsibility was on the outside of the house to make sure like, yo, ain't no hair on her head missing type. Like, other than that, like in the house is like, yo, listen, I ain't gotta take care of that. So like when Imani came around, I was like, yo, I gotta take care of all of that for you. Like man, for me, it just was like a culture shock times 10.
That's
And
awesome.
just looking how I looked at life like 6 years ago compared to now, it's like, man, like it's so real. And like just like KB eating them chips right now with that face. Looks so real.
Boy, listen. this is another great week of being an imperfect father, man.
Word up, man.
Facts.
I'm not gonna
Gonna
lie.
change it for the
I
world.
just the I'm telling you, like I'm a late bloomer, and what I've noticed is that I just keep my goals in front of me and put my head down and work like I'm working for my kids and for God. And like, man, things pan out, man. And I've been getting blessed left and right, man. And it's just a great, it's a great feeling, man. Just doing it for your kids and your family. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's been a great week.
That's what's
Bro.
up. That's love.
Listen,
That's love.
KB, what you got before we get up out of here, man?
Man, 96% of what you think will happen, that worst scenario, never happens.
Mm. Mhm. Facts.
So think of the worst and know that it ain't gonna happen.
Wow. Wow. That's an approach. That's an approach. Yo,
Mm,
listen. This has been another dope episode, fellas. I'm just sitting here in so much thought because I'm like, there's so many things that I didn't experience that exist in the world that we live in. And that's what keeps me loving people harder, loving and understanding more. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a sap sucker that's going to sit around and let you have a pity story all day with me because that's not the case. And these two men can adjust to that. They can testify to that. I'm going to let you have your moments, but there's going to be a tight period to that.
Where's the
It comes
solution?
with everybody.
We need to start talking solutions after a while. I'll let you talk about your problems for a
Right,
bit. Let's talk about what
right.
we're gonna be doing now.
And this is what this podcast is about. So, yo, the problem is here. We see it. We know what the problem is. We understand it. Now it's time to do something about it. And how do we do something about it? Each and every one of us addressing it within us. That's the major key right there. Each and every one of us doing the introspective work that's necessary. Talk to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself. Have the real conversations that you need to have with yourself.
So
Ask
you're a
yourself
rapper
those
now.
tough questions, yo.
So you're a rapper now.
Oh yeah, you know it. Bars.
bars.
But yo,
Okay.
we gotta do what we need to do as one before we come together with somebody else. Because the truth of the matter, all we're gonna do is make a mess in the long run. And what I'm not gonna do is create a platform or come across a platform where we're gonna sit around and just wallow in our mess. No, we have to be better. And there is a way to be better. And that is all of us doing the necessary work that we need to do to get better. So, with that being said, fellas, ladies, understand these things. We said everything we said with love. Come from a space that we're going to be better. And that's what we have the purpose for. Now, kings, fellas, you know my motto. To the world, you are just a dad. And that's all you are, sadly. But that's the world we live in. But to your family, you are the world. Don't let that go past your dome. It is the truest statement in the world. The people around you need your existence. Dwell in that. Thrive in that. Embrace it. But until the next time we see you guys, be good to yourself and the ones around you. That's dope. But if you can't be good to the ones around you, don't beat yourself up. Please don't do that. Just get those people from around you. Yo, man, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and this has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed because we will.
What?
Peace, King. And